What's up, everybody? It's Mike here from The Art of Guitar, here to show you a quick example of the CAGED system. And I see this explained a lot online, and I just wanted to make a very simple version of it so that everybody can digest it at first and then see the importance of it, and then hopefully want to dive in a little bit deeper to really understand it, because it is a really great way to understand the entire neck and to be able to connect patterns together and chord shapes and all that good stuff. So you'd be able to like fly around the neck and play whatever you want with relative ease after a very short time. Just to break it down into the smallest bits of information, if you took any chord shape that you know in an open position, such as C, A, G, E, D, they could be broken down into 5 shapes. And luckily it spells a word, caged. It could easily just spelled nonsense, you know? So, okay, so let's go ahead and start with the C shape. So from now on, we're gonna call that the first form, okay? The A shape will be the second form. By the way, if you don't know your open chords yet, learn those first, very important. Then the open G shape, that's the third form. The E shape is 4 and D is 5. So a lot of people get that far and they understand that, but they have trouble when it starts to creep up the neck, because what we need to do is take each one of those shapes and turn them into bar chords. In order to do that, you have to take, let's say, the first shape, C. First form, I should call it. And you have to reproduce that shape, but move it up. So people think, okay, do I just slide my fingers up? Let's say if we just want to move up 2 frets. That sounds cool, but that's no longer a pure major chord like it was back here. Back here it's C major. When you slide everything up like that, it's not a true D major, like you would think, because you went up a whole step. When you're back here playing the first shape, you have 2 open strings happening at the same time. Your first string and your third string are open. So if you pull the shape forward towards you, those get left behind, and they don't change like these do. These move up in pitch because you slid up. The open strings stay the same, so you kind of end up with this mixed chord shape. You want a pure major chord if you're going to start to move these around. So what you need to do is you need to free up your index finger. How you do that is you basically remake the chord, but with your other fingers. That can be a little bit tricky for people. Then your first finger's free to act as a capo, which you would just put right here across the 2nd fret, and then you would have a pure major chord. So that would be now D major using the first form. So we're going to do that with all our chords eventually, all our chord shapes, but the secret is how we put them together like puzzle pieces to take up the entire neck. In essence, you could play the same chord 5 different ways, and the cool thing is they spell caged like I said, and as you spell caged using the different shapes of the neck, they fit together like Tetris pieces or like puzzle pieces, and they construct the entire neck so you're able to move around and play in any position that you want to and know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick example of this. So we have the C chord, which now we call the first form. Remember that. Keep an eye on that. Now we have the root note right here. That's a C note. So now, if we took the second form, which looks like this, in the back of your head you should be thinking A, and we wanted to move that one up a whole step, well, you would take this straight line and just slide it up 2 frets like that. But remember what we have to do, we have to fret those open strings 2 frets higher as well in this case. So I'm going to take my first finger, just lay it flat across. Now it's a B chord using the 2nd form. If I move that all up 1 fret, now it's a C chord using the 2nd form. Now we're back to C again. Remember we talked about that with the first form? Well, check this out. Notice where my first finger is. It's right here on the 5th string, 3rd fret. That's the root note C. Well, when I'm here, I have to use this shape for it to be a C major chord. So you could say, once again, we're playing a C major using the 2nd form. But now if I want to play C major using the first form, I have to go like this. It's nice that that's an open chord shape. So both chords are C major chords, but this one is the first form, and this one is the 2nd form. By the way, a lot of you guys will play the 2nd form bar chord like this. If you don't quite know all your bar chords or even your notes going up the neck, you can check out the website. We talk about that. It's a very important part of this whole process. So after the 2nd form, you're going, okay, what's the 3rd form? It's the G shape. Remember, if you spell caged, G is the 3rd letter. So G is the 3rd form, like that. So what we need to do now is move that up until we get to a C note. This can be a little bit crazy, because watch this. You notice the shape right here. This is like the modern G shape. I'm going to do the old-fashioned G shape with just 3 fingers. And notice there's a fret here, and then it's the nut, okay? So that's important because these are the open strings right behind the nut. If you move this forward one, these have to follow. Move forward, these have to follow, just like a capo would, okay? We still have that fret gap in between. So what a lot of people freak out about is if you want to do this with one hand, you have to recreate the G shape with your other 3 fingers and lay your first finger flat across like this. It's a bummer of a chord shape, like that. So a lot of people just play partial third form when they try to do a bar chord. They'll either do this, or they'll do something like that. But either way, it's a bummer to have to do this. It's easy to solo within that shape, but not to play the actual full chord. So don't worry, we don't have to do this for very long. Okay, so if we start back here, it's open G, just with different fingers, using the third form. Then we slide up 2 frets, and we have to bar across like that. That's going to be A major, using the third form. Move it up 2 more frets. Now we have B major, using the third form. And then if we move up 1 more fret to the 8th fret with our ring finger, now that's C major, using the third form. See how it's right here? Keep track of this first finger laying flat across, okay? This is really important of how it connects to the second form. So if I move back now to the second form in C major, there it is right here again. So that's the connection point between those two. Boom and boom, just like that. So let me paste the first 3 together now. We have the first form in C major. We have the second form in C major. I'm going to do it this way. And we have the third form in C major. They're all C major, isn't that crazy? And they, like I said, they're glued together because they have connection points, which are very important. So if eventually you learn where the starting and stopping points are for each chord, you can play scales with them. I'll just do major pentatonic for today. That's the first form, major pentatonic. Second form, third form. Third form has 2 easy octaves you can jump to, so that's why I did that twice on that one. And then you would go to the 4th form and the 5th form. So I'll just do those quickly because we kind of explained the other ones. I just want to run through this since this is just a demonstration. So now this is the 4th form. Here's the major pentatonic here. There's 2 of those as well. And then the weird 5th form that looks like a D shape. It's found way up there. The connection point's really just here, but watch this. So that's the major pentatonic in the 5th form. After the 5th form, we're back to the 1st form, but now we're going to be doing it as a bar chord versus an open chord. So it's nice. It goes from C to A to G, E, and then D shapes, and then back to C, and it repeats. So that's how really good guitar players can see the entire neck and play whatever they want. Let's say we're playing in C major, and I just want to play a C major pentatonic, and I just want to jump around the neck and have fun. Well, I can pick any one of those forms. I'll just pick the 3rd form and be right here, because I know the shape, that's C major using the chord shape. I know where the starting and stopping points are for that, where the C's are. And I know the scales from one C to the next, so I can do major, that's diatonic, pentatonic, that's really good for like Hendrixy stuff. Doobie Brothers, all that kind of stuff. We also have minor scales. When you get better, you'll be able to do that as well. So it's pretty amazing once you do connect the whole neck and know some scale formulas, what you could do. You're basically free to roam around the entire neck once you get to that point. So we're just about to shoot all of these forms on the website today. So it's going to be a long day, a long night, and probably 12 hours of editing. But it's going to be worth it in the end when everybody understands the CAGED system and they can just solo and feel confident. That's my goal for everybody. Remember, it's not always about just soloing either. It's about connecting chords as well, having new options when it comes to moving around the neck. And then you guys are going to be able to feel more free on the guitar. And those of you who just knew your open chord shapes and maybe a few bar chords are going to be able to fill in those missing pieces now and do the entire neck. So that's my goal for everybody. So, okay, I hope that helped you guys sort of understand the CAGED system a little bit better. I know there's a little bit of confusion on my last video because I just kind of got it out there quick. But we're going to replace it with this video, which is a little more in-depth for you guys. And maybe you even got a few pointers out of this video that you can go ahead and already use without even having to visit the site. But feel free to check out our site. We got a lot of stuff coming up and a lot of lessons already down. So we'll catch you there. Okay.